So I'm here with Tiffany, who is the director of...
Speak to you.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, the director of Black Watch, which is put on by the National Theatre Company of Scotland. Did I get that right?
National Theatre of Scotland.
National Theatre of Scotland, okay. And we're here for Black Watch, which is a fantastic, we just saw a couple scenes of it, depiction of the Scottish soldiers coming back from Iraq. And I just had a few questions. So what are your expectations of bringing this show to DC, and why are you, do you have any impressions of the town yet? And
well, we came here last year with the show, and it sold out. No, was it 2011? Yes, it was 2011. And it sold out, so there seemed to be an appetite for us to bring it back. So we have.
Okay, and how long are you guys in town for?
They're here until we perform until October the 10th. I'm not here till I'm only here to open the show. But yeah, they're performing until October the 10th.
Okay, great. I noticed that you were the director of Once on Broadway, which is obviously such a huge hit. I have a good friend who's involved with the show, actually. I'll tell you who she is after. But what's it like going from a show like that, which is a sort of like feel-good story, into something that's very visceral and like this?
Well, Black Watch we first created back in 2006, so it's been touring the world for 6 years now. So Once it was more that I went from the kind of theatre of war into the theatre of Dublin and love stories. I mean, it's, I suppose obviously it's a different story, but they're very similar in lots of ways. There's a lot of music, there's a lot of movement. A lot of the same creative team members are involved in both Black Watch and Once. There's a similar, I suppose, quite bare, minimal aesthetic to the designs, which is my taste really. So although I suppose on the surface they appear to be very different projects, just in terms of the kind of experience and the joy of making them, they've been quite similar.
What is it that draws you as a director to wanting to work on a project like either Once or Black Watch?
I suppose I like telling stories that aren't necessarily known by audiences, particularly with Black Watch, the stories that we were told of these soldiers' experiences out in Iraq that I didn't feel the public did know or didn't quite understand fully, and maybe had, particularly in the UK, there was a real, I suppose they were lumped in with the politicians who decided to, Tony Blair, etc., who decided to invade Iraq. The military got a lot of the flack and frustration that people felt at what they thought was an illegal invasion. And what we wanted to do was say, no, these people were just doing their job, and we need soldiers if we're going to invade countries. So I mean, the drive was really about telling those stories so that the audiences saw that they weren't necessarily deciding to invade a country, they were just doing their job.
And do you think that the production, assuming that a lot of people have seen it in Scotland, do you think it's had any sort of like effect politically?
Not politically necessarily, because that wasn't our aim, but certainly in terms of understanding. I think that's mainly the...
So you guys aren't like taking any position on the war, it's just the stories?
No, I don't think that's the job of theatre or art, really. I think that's the job of, I suppose, opinion formers and newspapers and political commentators to take a stance in that way. I think the job of art is to increase understanding and compassion.
And to humanise the...
Absolutely. And to increase tolerance and to... and to put different people's point of view across in a way that's vibrant and visceral and that gets under us and gives us a kind of, I suppose, an emotional understanding of what other people's experiences of the world are, because I think that's when we learn to understand what their life choices are.
Yeah, and I think you'll get some kind of reaction based on this being in DC and the sort of, being such a political town.
Well,
but there is a...
This is where the decision was made.
The original decision, absolutely. Yeah, and one just final question. DC is a very big town in terms of social media, and it's a fascinating event that you guys are having today, just bringing in sort of social media and press type people. And I want to know if you've done similar things like that back at home, or if how are you?
Yeah, we started doing the social media calls, as we call them, 2 years ago, because realising that actually people were connecting with, I suppose, publicity material, reviews, etc., in many different ways, and it was us we were being archaic about thinking that either news, TV news, or indeed print was the way in which most people were connecting. When actually, audiences that we were trying to reach, sometimes younger audiences, were connecting through Twitter and through blogs and through websites, etc. So we realised that what we should do. To begin with, the kind of institutional newspapers weren't very happy with us because they were like, "What? You're putting us on a platform with bloggers?"
Right.
When actually it's been very, very successful. Hey, it's keeping the conversation going.
Sure.
Putting the word out. We want as many people as possible to get access to our work.
Right.
So we should find as many routes as possible for the information to access audiences.
Right. Well, I wish you guys the best with the show, and it was a
Thank you.
really exciting 2 scenes we just saw, so
Thank you
hope to
very
see the
much.
rest of it soon. Thanks.